Hey there everybody, my name is Yami Angel Tonight and welcome to Fandom Studios. Today we're going to be doing a video on costume design, specifically humanization costume design. So as you can see here, I have a Venusaur up in the top left corner. We're going to try to focus on the first three starter Pokemon from Generation 1. Basically what humanization is it's taking a creature or a non-humanoid, animal, monster, something like that, and turning it into a human design that doesn't necessarily scream, this was once a creature, this was once a Pokemon, this was something like that. So, today we're going to be trying to do Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard. Hopefully this video won't take too long. Yeah, so let's get into it. First things first, we've got Venusaur. So, first thing you want to do is have your model kind of in the center of your page that you're going to be drawing on top of. Make sure you're on the right layer. And then, you have your reference image right next to it. Makes life a little easier. So for Venusaur, or for humanization in general, if you don't want to look super like you just, skinned an animal and put it on like you're just wearing a onesie, which, I mean, you can do that too. It's fine. No judging. Do what you want. But if you want to do something a little more complicated, I guess, you want to look at your subject or your material that you have to work with and figure out what on this creature do I want to translate into my design. So for Venusaur, the biggest things about him are the color. Everyone knows that standard bluish green color that him and his entire line has. His big flower, you see that a lot. And of course he's got the big leaves. Now I don't want to go just stick a flower on the back of it. So we're going to try to be a little more, not creative, but we're going to try to be a little more complex with it, I guess, instead of just doing that. First things first, we're going to start with the hair. I like to start with the hair on my designs. I'm going to just lower this real quick so that we can actually draw on it and not run off the page. So we're going to start with the head. Now, if we look back at Venusaur real quick, Venusaur's got that leaf that comes down in the middle of his head. I mean, obviously, that leaf is not attached to him. It is just where it lands. But I always like to think that doing the... Oops, that's the wrong color. Doing the fringe, doing the hair, you can do a little fringe in the front. We're going to do some hair framing the sides of the face because Venusaur's face is very, very squat, very rounded, very, shaped. He's not very jagged. He's a very kind of circular creature. So we're just going to have that little fringe. We're going to have those two pieces hanging down on the sides. We're just going to finish the hair off. Excuse my drawing. It is a rough sketch. It's not great. If you want better images that I had a little more time to clean up and color a little better and make them all nice and symmetrical, those will be on my Instagram. You can find that in the description below. So, there you go. So, we're going to round this hairstyle out real quick. And in order to make those ears that he has, instead of just, throwing some ears on top of this, which, I mean, you can do. That's fine. I've done it plenty. We're going to actually give her little like, pigtail buns. So the two buns on either side of her head. And they'll kind of look like ears in the overall picture. So next we're going to move on to the actual body. We're going to give her a kind of we're going to give her like a nice, like, elegant kind of dress. Why? I don't know. That's just, Venusaur is not an elegant Pokemon, but that's just kind of what came to mind, so that's what we're going with. We're going to make this collar. And we're actually going to make this collar the or in the pattern of that flower. So if you see Venusaur's flowers, he's kind of got like the notches in the petals. So they're not like super smooth petals. We'll get to a design that has smooth petals in not this video. But so we got that collar. We're gonna bring this dress up to be this nice nice sleeveless dress, but it comes all the way up to the neck. And then we're going to actually involve the trunk of that flower by putting this little collared necklace on. Just give a little bit of you know, something going on up here. You don't want to make your design too complicated, but you also don't want to make it too simple, because then your material won't come across. If it's just the color palette, it might not read the way you want it to. You want to be kind of aware of that. We're gonna come down. Oops. We're gonna give like an almost knee-length dress. And we're going to actually give a little slit. Oops. With a little under piece there, just to give a little layering. A little layering never hurt nobody. And then on the middle, we're gonna do, whoops, that's a little big. We're gonna do this little kind of belt, which is going to be another reference to the flower on the back of not Bulbasaur. Wrong one, Venusaur there. So this middle piece would be that kind of like yellow crown looking thing that's coming out of the center of the flower, and then the belt itself would be, again, more of that flower pattern. We are going to then, we're going to take then his leaves, because we haven't really done anything with his leaves yet. We're actually going to turn those into like little arm slips, kinda. So if you've ever seen on some dresses, they have those little sheer, they're not sleeves really, but they're like sheer pieces of fabric. They attach to kind of the like armpit kind of the dress, and then they come down over your arms. Apparently I'm now learning it is hard for me to talk and draw at the same time. Again, if you want better drawings than this, Instagram. I'll have ones that actually look good and don't look like I rushed it in 10 minutes. So, and they'll be, you know, symmetrical, which will be nice. So, you got those. If you know anybody who does embroidery, or if you can do embroidery, you can always, you know, make like a little kind of leaf pattern on the sheer fabric there to make it look a little bit more like a leaf and less just like some sheer fabric that you decided to stick on you. If not, you don't have to. Again, everything's optional. When you're designing new costumes for things, other than keeping the design and the style, and I mean, it's a little less necessary when you're working with a creature that's not actually a person. You don't really have to worry so much about, does it look identical to, like, if you're designing a costume for a person that is already or a character that is already a humanoid character, you kind of want to keep the design of the show or design of the character or the game or whatever, and try to like include that. With humanization, not so much. So the last thing we're going to do on our little Venusaur here before we add some color is we're just going to add some shoes. I would probably do little flats for this. Venusaur is kind of stocky, not exactly the most tall thing in the world. So we're going to do some like maybe like little ballet flats with the ribbon going up around the ankles. I always think that looks really fun. We're going to complete this line so that it doesn't block out the rest of the picture. So there's our design. We're going to add some color into it. Best part of having your source material on the side of your drawing is, I mean, yeah, you can just have it on your phone or have it off to the side or whatever. But if it's on your actual, whatever you're drawing on, and it's right there, you can, you know, decide where you want the colors to be by just like selecting the color, and then placing it, and you can really see what those exact colors are going to look like instead of kind of trying to guesstimate what those colors might be. Whoops, that's not the shoe. Come on. All right, so we're going to color the dress, we're going to color the shoes, and we're going to color the hair. We're going to color the hair in a way that won't do that. All right, we're going to grab this color. Bucket, there we go. And we're going to color in these little buns here. Just kind of quick. Don't want to waste too much of your guys' time coloring. So there you go. You got that main color. That main color is taking up most of this design, which is kind of what you want. You want to make sure you have the colors in the right proportions. So I wouldn't want this design to be mostly pink because that wouldn't make sense. Venusaur is this bluish teal kind of. Then we're going to grab a light green for the the leaves. Right there, and also these ribbons down below, if I can actually color them in. I'm used to being a lot closer on these pictures, and I'm trying to not zoom in and move the camera all over the place too much. Oh, and we're gonna color in this little underslip too, just for some layering. Next thing's gonna be the flowers. Oops. And grab that pink. We're gonna add that to the sides of the belt and the neck piece. And then grab that light pink for the little spots, which are, of course, you know, bigger and misshapen, but, you know, rushing. So there we go. And then the last pieces here is going to be, you know, grabbing the yellow. Make sure you've got the yellow for the little buckle, clasp, whatever you want to call it. And then you grab that brown for the necklace. See? Already kind of looks like, weirdly enough, it looks like a Venusaur without being a Venusaur. The only last thing I'm going to add is we're going to go down to these shoes and we're going to white out the tips of them. Because that's a little too much white. We're going to white out the tips of them just because Venusaur has those little claws on his feet, and that way we can be a little reminiscent of that. Alright, so next we're going to move on to Blastoise now. Whoops. And yeah, as for why, you know, I decided Blastoise was going to be a boy and Venusaur was going to be a girl, I don't have a reason. It's just what came up to my head. So for Blastoise, I mean, obviously in this, biggest thing is his little shell, which you can always wear like a little shell backpack. I always find those really fun if you can get a hold of one. I'm not super big on backpacks, especially when I'm running around with costumes, so not going to be using that in this. However, we are going to try to include his shell as more of a protective piece, I guess. So we're going to start with his hair. Blastoise has a pretty round face too, but he's got those ears again. And I don't want to just put, you know, buns on this guy. You can do whatever you want. But let's try something different. We are going to, instead, we're going to actually spike his hair up a little bit. So, if you've ever tried making hair spikes, it is a time and a half. Oops, that's a little too big. If you're ever trying to spike a, you know, what's the word for it? If you're ever trying to spike a wig, or even your own hair, just give yourself time. Don't rush it. I mean, if it's your own hair, you kind of have to, because you can't really go to sleep in it, but you definitely don't want to rush it if it's a wig. And we're going to spike that part up, and we're going to come down. We're going to have the rest of this, you know, just kind of spike a little bit. It's going to be a little messy. And then we're actually gonna just, finish spiking it off. You want the hairstyle to make sense with itself as well as in the costume. Hair kind of does what it wants anyway, but you can force it to some degree to kind of make it look like what you want. Looking at this hair now, and it reminds me of several other Pokemon that I can make it, but we're gonna leave it as Blastoise. Now around his bottom half of his jaw, his kind of neck and belly area, we've got this this kind of cream color that takes over him. And now we're not gonna like paint this guy's face, but what we are gonna do is we are gonna actually make him a little mask, which we all love those so much right now. But we're gonna make a little mask, as well as we're gonna actually add a scarf to him. Which, if you kind of know what you're doing, you can, take a scarf and you can make it into a mask over your face. It's probably easier. We're just gonna go with this right now. So we've got our, kind of scarf there. That's gonna be our kind of cream colored underbelly there, along with that mask. And then we're going to, give him the... Well, actually, you know what? We're going to actually erase this mask. See, this part, half of costume design is drawing something and then realizing you think it looks stupid. So we're going to move that down. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to just say that he can pull the scarf up if he really wants to. And then we're going to actually make him a little jacket. Which has nothing to do with, Blastoise as a Blastoise, but everything to do with just, I think it would be kind of cool. So we're going to make a jacket that kind of comes all the way up. We're going to give it a little kind of one of those spiked lapels or whatever they're called. Fashion terms. I don't know most of them, so... And then the shirt, and we're gonna actually roll up these sleeves. If we can kind of, there we go. Get rid of some of these internal lines here. There we go. And let's see, we're going to kind of put some lines across this shirt, because Blastoise, of course, he has, you can't really see it on this picture because of course he's got it back to you, but he's kind of got those ribbings on his belly, so it's a little bit of a kind of tell to that. And then we're going to actually put little bracers. The reason why we rolled his sleeves up is we're going to put these little bracers on his arms, and we're going to make those kind of reminiscent of his shell. So now I'm just going to quickly kind of make a little shell pattern there. Those hexagonal shells. So there we go. We've got those. We're going to also put those on his legs for, just to give him a little bit of symmetry. Make it seem like it's not coming too out of nowhere. Got that top and bottom line that you'll white out to match that like rim that goes around his shell. There we go. Get these ones in. And then just, leave the pants as they are. Shoes, honestly, I'd just wear, sneakers. To be honest, I'd probably wear sneakers for most of these, just because. Shoes are kind of the... I don't want to say they're not important, but they're kind of not important when it comes to cosplay. You want to be comfortable more than anything. You don't want to, you don't want to be uncomfortable for the entirety of a photo shoot or a convention or anything else. The last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna put a belt in here. Helps hold your pants up. and will be another reference to that shell. So there you go. 2 birds. Let's see, we're gonna color him in now. We're going to grab that brown, color in that that belt. Oops, color in that belt, and then we're gonna color in these arm pieces. I will get back to fixing that in a minute. The leg braces, and then we're gonna grab this kind of like silvery bluish white that he's got going on to line the top and bottom of these bracers. Most of that one, because the white doesn't really show up on camera. We'll color in this one because it's been filled in already. So there we go. Now we're going to grab that, or we're going to try to grab that cream color. Gonna add that to the shirt. Oops, that's his chest. Gonna add that to the shirt. We're gonna add that to that scarf. It's kind of looking very monotonous right now, I must admit. This is probably not one of my favorite designs that I've probably ever made, but, oops. Then again, gonna get some hate for this, but Blastoise is not my favorite Pokemon. So there you go. We're gonna put some blue on his pants. You know, if you can find a blue shoe or a blue Converse or something, go for it. It would look really cool. If not, I wish you luck. Maybe just find some kind of like cream colored or you know, white like Ked or something like that, but that's all I can really give you. Shoes are that kind of obnoxious thing that aren't exactly easy to get unless you're buying from a costume shop that, you know, has them already. We're gonna add some light blue to these spots. That should keep it from. There we go. So there he's got a little more, again, depth and dimension. And then the last thing is we're going to color his hair, which is, again, that, oopsie, just did that. I don't know why I didn't think it was not going to do it again. We're going to color this hair. We're going to hopefully not make the entire thing blue again. There we go. Made his face blue, though. That's unfortunate. Try to get rid of that. There we go. I'll color him back in. But so Blastoise is kind of a simple design if you really look at it. I mean, he's literally just a turtle with cannons on his back. And yes, I know, I'm probably getting some where are the cannons on his back. They're not here because I'm making a person and not a mech. So we're going to leave it at that. So there's our lovely Blastoise. We're going to move on to the last one, which would be Charizard. I decided, again, to go with a female design because I took one look at Charizard when I was making this video, and I immediately thought, I want to do something with those wings. And the only thing I thought to do with them was make an amazing cape. And I don't know. I guess I want this outfit. Is kind of the miss of this one is just this is just an outfit I want. So once again, we're gonna start with the hair. Oh, I always start with the hair. Most people don't. Most people think the hair is annoying. We're gonna kind of ignore Charizard's horns in this. Honestly, most people don't even remember that Charizard has horns sometimes, which I don't know how you would forget with how many times that we are forced to see him on a daily basis. But we're going to instead... Oops, I'm just going to let that do that. We're going to instead kind of focus on the fire element of Charizard here. Where we're going to kind of make this... it's a little emo look, but... Gonna do something like that. And then we're actually going to do a kind of long, flowy, ponytail. Like that. And This is going to be another kind of dress situation, but we're going to go a little lower on this. We're going to bring these up. We're going to have these straps be very, very thin. And then we're going to do this cape. So what we're going to do with the cape is we're going to make this cape come all the way down. We want a nice flowy cape. And then it's going to drape off the shoulders and just flow behind you, hopefully, when you walk. Oops, that's not how you draw lines. There we go. Close enough. So there we go. Maybe in the future I'll... Well, I guess the whole point of this is not to draw something amazing. It's to, you know, do some costume design. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But so you've got, you know, that orange part to kind of like represent the frame of his wing, and then the underside of it to be, you know, the membrane of that wing. And then we're gonna, I like jewelry, so we're gonna do a little necklace. Maybe some little earrings or something. This kind of very fashionista kind of vibe. Which is fine. I like it. Come down with this other side of the cape. Be a little careful with my lines here. Get rid of that. There we go. Probably should have come down a little more, but that's fine. So we've got those wings in that cape. We're gonna actually make this like a crop top. So this is absolutely not a costume I would actually wear, but it's one I want to. I don't wear a lot of costumes that are, you know, non-existent in the middle. But we're also going to do he's got that big yellow belly, and instead of just doing this yellow patch, we're gonna kind of go for a kind of like a dragon tamer or like belly dancer almost. It's almost kind of like a belly dancer vibe. So we're gonna do this piece in the middle that like comes up. It would attach to up here. It's got these big gems on it. I don't know why every time I see Charizard, I immediately think of gems. Gonna have a piece that comes off here. And then you could do these little bead chains, which I'm not going to fully color in. Again, fully rendered version will be on Instagram. So, gonna do these little bead chains that connect kind of to your hips. Gives it a little more complex kind of vibe. And then for we're gonna do these, for the feet, we're gonna do, it might actually help if I close off the shorts there. I almost didn't realize that I did that. Or I didn't realize I didn't do that. We're gonna give the boots, we're gonna give, you know, well, we're gonna give boots. I meant to say for the shoes, we're gonna give boots, but yes, we're gonna give, you know, kind of these like orangish, rugged, kind of, I know the rest of this design isn't exactly rugged, but we're gonna give a rugged boot. I guess it's not that rugged, but I don't know. I like boots. You could do a heel boot too to help class it up a little bit, I guess, if you think that the other boot is a little too out of place. But I mean, I guess I'm biased. I'm biased against heels, probably because I can't walk in them, but every time I see a costume that has heels, I internally scream a little bit. Just because I know I'll never be able to wear it. That was information that none of you probably cared about. So there we go. You got those boots, and then I was debating for a while on, because, I mean, Charizard's not a snake, obviously. He's a dragon. Well, he looks like a dragon. Nintendo, get on that. But anyway, I wanted to do this kind of like, if you've ever seen those like snake coil like bracelets, but I figured there's enough going on up top already. You don't want to overwhelm half of it. So instead we're going to do a anklet. Or, I mean, I guess you could just draw something on you too. It doesn't have to be physical. But we're going to do this little snake. This little snake anklet. So that is the saddest snake I've ever drawn. And yeah, there's kind of a design for that, and we're gonna We're going to color him in. We're going to start with the orange, which is Charizard's main color. We're going to color in the top and the shorts and 2 sides of that cape and the boots, or at least the main part of the boots. Oopsie. Get back to that in a second. And the hair, I think. Oh, and the little snake here. The world's most depressed snake. We're going to color him. Oh, I am... It's fine. I just realized I was on the wrong layer. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Current layer is not visible. Great. Awesome. I'm batting 1,000 today. We're just going to color these in quick. And we're going to color that in quick. And then we're going to grab that... Oh, and hang on. We're actually going to color that neck piece. Then we're going to grab the gold and color in, we're going to color in that kind of central belly piece jewelry. I don't really know what it is, but it looks cool. And I mean, that's half of cosplay anyway. It's not necessarily knowing what it looks like, but doing it anyway. We're also going to color in, you know, parts of these boots, which I messed up my layering, so I can't color them fully. But that's fine. We'll fix them later. And then the last piece, well, not last piece, but the last piece that's important, we're going to get that blue for those, that kind of like bluish green for that cape. Those nice wings, which is probably my favorite part of this design, is that cape. I really do like that cape. But the actual last piece of this is going to be these kind of gems that I made. And the purpose of these was to be, Charizard is, you know, always seen kind of spewing fire. And obviously, if you're not making a costume without a tail, you can't necessarily do something like that. So, oops, may help if I could color in the lines a little more. There we go. So I thought it would be nice to give them some kind of like, these kind of gems on it that would look fiery. I mean, you can get like crystalline gems, I think, online that kind of have this like fiery sparkle in them. And the last thing we're going to do is not something I can do on this layer because I messed up. We're going to add a little color to this hair just to give it a little bit of fire right on the tips. And there we go. That's our Charizard. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know down below. Tell me what characters you want to see redesigned or gender bent or made into people, and I'll certainly look into that and make some designs and see what I can come up with. Next video is probably going to be the Generation 2 starters, because that was the other thing I had planned, and I very quickly realized that I could not do all 6 of them without taking an hour. Nobody wants that. So we're going to leave it off just with Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. And, you know, subscribe if you like the video so that I can see what your guys' opinions are. Let me know how, or what kind of changes you'd like to see, what kind of things you want to see. I don't know, maybe you don't like the face cam being there. Maybe you find that distracting or annoying, or I don't know, maybe you just find me annoying. I don't know. So, let me know, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.